LeBron James has been in the NBA for 14 seasons and has won 3 NBA Finals, 3 Finals MVPs, and 4 regular season MVPs. He's one of the most decorated and accomplished NBA players of all time, and is regularly in the conversation surrounding who the greatest basketball player of all time is. However, in recent seasons, LeBron has appeared to coast through the regular season and save himself for the playoffs. This video will cover the reason why LeBron would coast through the regular season, and how this season he might not be able to or want to, and how that might result in his 5th most valuable player award. The last 3 seasons with the Cavaliers have seen LeBron take the regular season less and less seriously. Just watching game footage of the playoffs and regular season games and you'll see a huge difference in effort on both ends of the floor. This isn't to say that LeBron isn't still a top 5 MVP candidate in these seasons, because he is, all while coasting. In these 3 years, he put up an average of 25.6 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 7.6 assists per game. If any other player in the game had these numbers, they'd likely win the MVP, but our expectations are so high with LeBron that he needs to dominate at a higher standard than usual if he really wants to have a chance. And for the last 3 seasons, he simply hasn't had to. With Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, and others on the team, there is enough talent that the Cavaliers could allow LeBron to play at 80% and still smoke teams off of the court. But this season is a bit of a different picture. There is no more Kyrie Irving, and Isaiah Thomas isn't expected back until mid-January, and therefore more of the offensive load will fall to LeBron. On top of this, the Cavaliers have announced that they will be starting Jay Crowder and moving Tristan Thompson to the bench and Kevin Love to the 5. Personally, I'm a huge fan of this move, especially with Derrick Rose starting in place of Isaiah Thomas, and if Dwayne Wade starts over J.R. Smith. The spacing that Crowder will provide will help balance the floor, as playing Rose, D. Wade, and Tristan Thompson at once is an absolute spacing nightmare. I've been reading and hearing that many people think Crowder will be playing at the 4, and despite thinking that positions matter less and less, I do think LeBron will realistically be playing the 4. I think that Crowder and LeBron will switch it up on defense and guard players based on who they are chasing in transition, but it will mean that LeBron spends more time guarding 4s and will therefore be close to the basket. This will result in a lot more rebounding opportunities, and I think that Tyronn Lue will be asking LeBron to make an even bigger effort on cleaning up the glass in order to make up for Thompson's absence. Plus, LeBron played some of the best basketball of his career when he played the 4 in Miami, and I think it is probably his best position on the court. Teams simply struggle to match up when you play 3 other perimeter players with LeBron, and only the Warriors and Oklahoma City Thunder had the personnel to match up with an Isaiah Thomas, J.R. Smith, Jay Crowder, LeBron James, and Kevin Love lineup. This lineup is packed with shooting, and LeBron is going to be able to run pick and rolls with Love and have more room to drive than ever before. He's going to have open lanes to the basket unless someone comes to help in the paint. And LeBron is one of the best players at passing out of the pick and roll to the open 3-point shooter. So teams will be choosing between giving LeBron an easy lane to the hoop or the option to pass for an open 3. And last year, LeBron averaged a career-high 8.6 assists per game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to surpass it this season. The other aspect behind my belief of LeBron winning the MVP this year comes from an idea I rarely use when analysing basketball. Something not basketball related, but emotionally charged. Usually I don't buy into the storylines about players being motivated by off-season moves or their emotions. They are either good enough at basketball or they aren't. But with players as good as LeBron, and due to him coasting the regular season, I think that if something was to poke the bear, so to say, he would take it to another level. We saw this in the 2016 NBA Finals when some of the Warrior players made the following comments.
I mean, guys talk trash in this league all the time. You know, I'm just kind of shocked some guys take it so personal. It's like, I mean, you know, it's a man's league, and I've heard a lot of bad things on that court, but at the end of the day, it stays on the court. But obviously, people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
We all know what happened after this. LeBron came out on a mission and played the best basketball of his career as he led the Cavaliers back from a 3-1 series deficit and won the Cavaliers their first championship. And this season, I think LeBron will be pissed once again. His comments on Kyrie Irving may have appeared that he is totally cool with Irving leaving, but the way in which Kyrie handled it by not calling LeBron and seemingly not wanting to play with James might have pissed him off. Now obviously we cannot know this for sure, but if it did piss him off, I would fully expect LeBron to come out with a passion to prove to the league that he's still the best player in the world. And a motivated regular season LeBron isn't something we've really seen since 2013, and would be an absolute sight to behold. I imagine that it would be a combination between the young, energetic LeBron and the wise and incredibly skilled LeBron we know and love now. But the role and level that LeBron plays on this team will only become apparent in the first few games of the regular season. How often does he have the ball? Is he spending more time guarding fours? And does he seem locked in? Is he frequently driving like he does in the playoffs? If the answer to these questions is yes, then LeBron will be in with a phenomenal chance at his 5th MVP. I obviously think the answer is yes, and would love to see LeBron have one last gigantic season as he ages. He'll be 33 next year, and I'll imagine it would be one of the last opportunities he has to dominate at an MVP winning level. There will be resistance from some other players in the league, but as I discussed in my video on Giannis Antetokounmpo's MVP chances, a lot of the perennial MVP candidates have teamed up. Chris Paul and James Harden are on the Rockets, Paul George is with Westbrook on the Thunder, Boogie Cousins is with Anthony Davis, and Kevin Durant is still with Steph Curry. This leaves far less competition than usual at the beginning of a season. However, I have these 5 players as my preseason top 5 MVP candidates: LeBron James, Giannis, John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, and Blake Griffin. There are obviously other players who are capable of winning an MVP, but these 5 lead the pack for me. John Wall has a very settled Washington team that had a great season after starting 2-12 last year. I highly doubt they will start that poor again, and think that Wall will continue to dominate as one of the best point guards in the league. The ball is going to be in his hands as much as he wants it, and with a settled lineup comes consistency and easier assists as Wall learns and knows the tendency of his teammates. Plus, Wall is 27 this season, and in the midst of his prime. I wouldn't be surprised if he put up career highs across the board and really pushed LeBron for the MVP. And then there is Kawhi, someone who I think was still underrated last season, even though he finished top 3 in the MVP voting. There isn't a more complete player on both sides of the ball, and Kawhi has gotten better and better every single season. Kawhi will have even more responsibility as the Spurs look to run more offense through him due to Tony Parker's injury and the lack of a star point guard. There have been some talks about a lingering leg injury that has held Leonard back this offseason, so this may have prevented him from adding even more to his game, but as long as it didn't affect the ability he already had before the offseason, and he starts the season on time, he'll be right up there in the MVP conversation anyway. And my thoughts on Giannis and Blake Griffin have been captured in 2 videos previously, so be sure to check them out on my channel if you're curious to know why I think they are MVP candidates this year. The 4 guys I've mentioned other than LeBron are seriously good players, but none of them have the natural ability and skill that LeBron has, or the experience. And if LeBron comes out heated and on a mission, I don't think there will be anyone in the league that can stop him from winning the MVP. And if he does get his 5th MVP, there will be plenty of discussion about how this affects his legacy. And the word legacy gets thrown around a lot, and whilst I try not to engage in LeBron versus Jordan or other such conversations, they can be hard to avoid. But what I will say is that winning another MVP would do wonders to cement his legacy. LeBron has MVPs in 2009, 2010, 2012, and 2013, and a 5th MVP in 2018 would mean he won 5 MVPs over a 10-year period. An incredible accomplishment that no one could take away from him. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content. And leave a comment down below with who your pick for MVP is and how you think LeBron will perform this season.